Hey guys, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. I want to hit you guys with an educational video this week, and in this week I want to quickly just talk about when to know when to sit on your hands or size down in the market. Now, the market's been quite interesting lately. It gives you opportunity and then it takes that opportunity away fairly quickly. Now, we need to be able to recognize when these patterns happen, and we need to be able to recognize when to size down. Now, if you do have a smaller account, one of the things I would always say is if you are trading and the market does start to become choppy, we start to trade in these really tight ranges, high wicks to the upside and the downside, that's the time just to take your hands off the keyboard the most. Stop trading altogether. You don't need to trade when there's no direction in the market if you have a smaller account. You can't afford to take those little losses. Those little paper cuts will eat away from a percentage standpoint a lot larger, for trades that don't work than if you had a large account. Large accounts, you simply just reduce your size. Let's say you play with 20, 25 contracts on the option side, you can reduce them to 1 or 2 as your starter size. If you play equity, let's say you on average you take 500 to 1,000 shares, you can reduce that down to 25, 50 shares as you get a feel for what's actually going on. If there isn't a clear trend in the market intraday, if you look at something like a 10-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, and you can't see it looks like a clear uptrend or a clear downtrend to some extent, then guess what? You're in a choppy environment. Take your hands off the keyboard or size down significantly. Now, this is something that I think is extremely important in this type of tape, knowing when to put your foot on the gas and knowing when to take your foot off. Obviously, this morning we had a little bit of a push. It got a little bit choppy, and then we started to trend to the downside. There was, some trading in the morning. It got choppy right before it started to break this uptrend and sell off. There was only a couple different times to trade today. The morning, and then you basically had that afternoon pull, and then maybe a bounce off the lows. Then obviously in the afternoon, there wasn't really much to do. You could take some starters, but realistically, because it's stuck in such a tight range, you had to just sit on your hands for most of the day. So being able to recognize these patterns is super important. You can look at days like yesterday where we had this pretty tight range that we were trading within. I guess not that tight because it was about 4 or 5 points, but at this wide range where you can be trading off the uptrend and the downtrend breaks. But when it starts to get choppy, trading in a really tight range, hugging those EMAs or trading in between the EMA support and resistance, just a time to obviously get out. Then obviously, yesterday we had FOMC come in and we had some volatility, which you could have traded puts to the downside. But the whole key here is, guys, be patient. Be patient for those setups to happen. Be patient for the market to tell you what to do. If you're unsure of what to do, most likely it's choppy. If you're unsure of what to do and you have a small account, take your hands off the keyboard. Take your hands off the mouse. Wait till A+ or clear setups present themselves to you and then take them. Simple as that. It's always a good reminder of, especially with days like today, I always like to try to remind myself, especially of that. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Certainly think it's important to continue to tell yourself these things and go over them. And if you guys do have any questions, you go to SpartanTrading.com. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and you guys have a good rest of the day today.